Wolf suggested that the problem was maybe it wasn't quite North Korean enough.
Didn't send the message that he apparently wanted, which is that he was the commander-in-chief of this menacing enterprise.
So they supposedly expected 250,000,
I think
and even Newsmax only reported 10,000 people showed up.
Analyst Harry Enton, the day before the parade, talking not about Trump's feelings, but his poll numbers.
You can see it right here. We have two new polls. Quinnipiac University, AP North, -12 to -16. How about AP North? -16 to -21. Awful, awful, awful. The worst for Donald Trump in this term so far. He is very much way, way, way underwater, at least in these two polls.
And on immigration specifically, a drop of 6 points in the last 2 weeks.
The only thing that's happened over the last 2 weeks is obviously Donald Trump's ramped up immigration hawkish agenda. And at least at this particular point, the American people are saying, no, we do not like that. And they have turned against the president on
real Americans have been saying it for years.
Of immigration. He is now underwater on the issue that has been
only Trump billionaires have gone along with this racist,
and the estimated 5 million that filled the streets of 2,000 towns and cities in opposition. A
5 million?
Number
I've heard 10 million?
under
I've
the
heard 15
banner
million?
No Kings. What a gut punch for a guy who cares so much about the numbers.
Are those numbers enough to trigger a recount?
Now we got a war on, maybe. And better
you started a war.
It's far away. We won't
started
see
a
that
third
play
war.
out in our streets. So the way is clear for the president to seize the narrative and make it his own once he figures out what that is.
A second war and a genocide.
Trouble is, we have so much of our own violence right here, right in our faces, which is a little less susceptible to spin. But the stalwarts will go down trying. If you're to believe MAGA, the left is fundamentally more violent than the right.
MAGA lies about everything.
Melissa Hortman
so why would you believe them about a single thing?
Weekend, and 2 others were shot. Here's what Don Jr. had to say about the shooter.
Everyone talks about Minnesota, but they don't talk about the guy seems to be a leftist.
You walk into someplace, you see a bowl of fruit, and from 20 feet away you go, that's fake.
That's Alex Jones, notorious for labeling the 2012 massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary a hoax. When it comes to murder, he prefers to doubt what he sees.
It looks real, but your mind knows because it knows the look. This thing smells of some type of sophisticated operation.
The accused shooter turned out to be a Trump supporter and a fan of Alex Jones' show InfoWars.
Of course he is.
Studies have found that although political violence is on the rise overall, the left goes in for property damage. Murders are more the province of the right. As Elon Musk learned by way of his own AI chatbot, Grok.
A user on X asked whether right-wing political violence or left-wing political violence is more prevalent in this country. Grok unapologetically said right-wing political violence is way more prevalent. Elon says major fail, as this is objectively false. Grok is parroting legacy media working on it.
But when challenged, Grok only quoted more studies and stuck to its guns.
And legacy media hasn't even called
guns, rates of gun death
Minnesota
in some
terrorists
US states are comparable to conflict zones. For instance, the Commonwealth Fund found that the rate of firearms deaths in Mississippi is nearly twice that of Haiti, a nation impoverished and struggling with gang violence. But leaving that aside and leaving Minnesota, where MAGA mouthpieces tried to pin lefties for the 2 political murders committed by a Trump supporter, we go next to LA, where the National Guard and some Marines were tasked with confronting largely peaceful protesters opposing the administration's snatch and grab of immigrants without due process. Neither the city nor the state asked for help because despite what the president and his people were saying, the city was neither burning nor a trash heap, and the nation's 3rd largest police department had it under control. Nevertheless, at an LA press conference, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem was duly condemning California's governor as incompetent and socialist when Senator Alex Padilla interrupted with a question, one that he never asked because he was swiftly pushed, shoved, forced to the ground, handcuffed, and frog-marched down a hall by ICE, which for him raised more questions like,
am I being arrested here? And what will a city already on edge from being militarized think when they see their United States senator being handcuffed
been expecting
just for trying
Trump to call
ask
for
a
diplomacy,
question.
as he is now calling for now
And what will my wife think?
in his speech just moments ago. And we are
What
looking
will
to see how
our
Israel will
voice
respond. That person told me that a lot of this will depend on how Iran,
Just break in.
if it does retaliate for the
This is
US
just NPR. It's not another station.
Okay, for people just tuning in, this is live special coverage from
finally
NPR
live
News.
special
I'm Mary
coverage.
Louise Kelly.
Finally, starting
reporting
another
tonight that
war
the
is
US
enough
has
to...
entered the war with Iran. The
No.
U.S. has attacked
Trump
3
did it.
key nuclear sites
Stop
in
him.
Iran. I want to bring in our White House correspondent to speak to the significance of this. NPR's Deepa Shivaram is covering this. We just heard from the president. He was addressing the nation moments ago from the White House. Can you just sum up what he said?